Nepotism.
That's true.
Why?
I like nepotism. You know, if you can't take care of your kids, you know that better than
Today's feature, I promise you, won't be some LeBron James hate piece or attack on a young guy that, like all of us, didn't get the chance to choose his family tree and had no say in who his father is or how he became who some say the best player to ever touch a basketball. But I think this discussion needs to be had once and for all to determine if nepotism is actually a good thing when it comes to sports, specifically basketball, and even more specific, securing one of the more rare jobs in the world, being an NBA player. No matter how you slice it, nepotism is all around us and has been since the beginning of time. The thing about it is, we know that it's unfair, but as humans, do we really care when it pertains to ourselves or someone we love or are a fan of in the case of Bronny James and LeBron James? Ask yourself this question. If you're an accountant, one of the best in the world, a phenom with numbers, working for a top Fortune 500 company in the world, your child is around for your rise and picks up a love for numbers as well and journeys on his way to following in your footsteps. He graduates college and it's now time for a job. Knowing your company is the best, has the best benefits, and will be hiring for one spot only, not to mention your word in said company is like gold, do you put in the call to get your son the job or not? This in mind, your son is not you by any means. He isn't a natural with numbers. He arguably achieved all he has up to this point largely because of your name and was one of the worst in his graduating class in accounting in college, and clearly there are better, more deserving options for that one job opening left. Do you make the call? Let's not lie to ourselves. 98% of us, I'd say, allows the love and want to see our family member, friend, or child achieve success, win over, and put in the word. It's human nature to be selfish, conceited, arrogant, even narcissistic enough that we don't care once what's ours is secured, and who cares if he deserves it or not. Nepotism wins and will win again and again. Rich Paul, when asked about Bronny James receiving opportunity because of his father's name, said America was built off nepotism. Ironic coming from him, nevertheless, he's not wrong, and I was fine looking past it, like many of you are, knowing there's nothing you can do about it, until I saw a post that said Caleb Love and RJ Davis were returning to school for a fifth year because of the high chance they both go undrafted. Two players at the same position as Bronny James, who in my opinion are better, more proven, are more NBA ready than James, who not to mention would both be number one picks, no question, if their last name was James. Both players of the year in their conference, both seasoned college vets, and both flat out more productive on the same level. Yet Bronny is a lock draft pick, said to maybe even go as high as a lottery pick. Definitely first round now that he's canceled all his workouts except Phoenix and the Lakers. Add to that a third player that's a sleeper in the draft and likely will be drafted after James as well, who I think is also a better option at point guard, shooting guard for an NBA team. Let's talk about what got these players in this situation where in the weakest draft ever they have to bow out and return to school or fly under the radar when lesser talent gets red carpeted to opportunity because of the names on the jersey. Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get it, man. Caleb Love. Caleb Love was a highly touted prospect out of St. Louis, Missouri, ranked the number 2 point guard and 7th overall in his class. He was Mr. Basketball for Missouri and a McDonald's All-American, headed to North Carolina, where one good season could have made him an NBA lottery pick. A player in this situation earned an easy path to the league, but runs the risk of underachieving early, causing his name to lose its glow the more years he remains in college. Love is a big guard, 6'4", with size and strength, who's also an above-average athlete that's been tested over and over, and in the end was a successful college player. So what happened? Why is he now pulling out of the weakest draft arguably in NBA history to return to school for a 5th college season, where he'll be 23 before it starts and 24 years old before the start of the NBA season he's targeting? First off, Love, or any highly expected prospect like him, has an important freshman year of college where all is needed is a certain amount of the right stats and off he goes to the league. At the same time, not hitting those certain numbers can take away just as much or more. Caleb's freshman season was underwhelming individually, and team-wise North Carolina lost in the first round of the tournament in upset fashion to Wisconsin. Caleb averaged 10 points a game, 3 assists, and shot 26% from 3 that year, numbers that can cause a guy in his situation to now have his reputation work against him. Not to worry, because a great sophomore season can change that, and Love had a solid second year, averaging nearly 16 points a game, 3.6 assists again, but shot well from 3 at 36%, and he led his team to the national championship game, losing by just 3 points. In my opinion, this is where Love should have made the jump to the league. He didn't because scouts felt he didn't show improvement as an assist man while averaging nearly the same amount in turnovers. His 2-point field goals was also a concern, shooting under 40% for the second straight year. He decides to return to school for the dreaded make-or-break junior season, and where he went wrong was his assist numbers fell, while averaging almost the same in turnovers once again, and his deep shot plummeted to a career-low 29%. Add to that, he wasn't a big-time scorer, an attribute considered his best. Compounding that, he transfers after the season to Arizona, finally achieves scoring averages expected of him, but 4-year players who were expected to be one and done aren't necessarily high commodities. He also averaged less assists than his freshman year, high turnovers, and a mediocre 33% from 3. His stock then plummeted as he entered the 2024 draft with little buzz to his name, said to likely be a late second round to undrafted prospect. It led to him returning to Arizona for a 5th COVID-allowed year, where he'll have to show improvement in multiple areas or run the risk of once again likely going undrafted. RJ Davis. RJ Davis and Caleb Love had pretty much the same route as amateurs, leading to high rankings, McDonald's All-American, and Davis was also a Mr. Basketball for the state of New York. He opts to attend the same school as Caleb Love in North Carolina, and although not as highly touted as Love, had the opportunity to go in and possibly leave early for the NBA as well, should he have a successful first few seasons. For Davis, he was not a size advantage at just 6 foot listed, so likely a bit shorter, and his first 2 seasons was an afterthought to Love and the idea of leaving early, although he did shoot above average from 3 at 36% as a sophomore. He came back for his junior year as well, rebounding and assisting better than Caleb Love while averaging nearly the same in points. He shot 36% again, but at his size and not as big a name, those wasn't enough. Had he shot 38% from 3 and added a bit more in assists, maybe leaving after his junior year was possible, but that was not the case. The dreaded senior season awaited for him as well. In that year, Davis made sure to show he could be an elite scorer on the college level at 21.2 a game and shot 39% from 3 on nearly 8 attempts a game, which is outstanding, limiting his turnovers but leaving more to be desired in assists, which hurts a guy his size in the league's eyes. He opted for the 24 NBA draft but withdrew his name to return to Carolina for a 5th season. Now, gravely under the radar, he'll need another Conference Player of the Year season, improving his assist numbers and staying consistently an elite shooter from 3 to even have a chance. Sleeper picks: Mark Sears and Dillon Jones. Decided to throw an extra in there because no way we can bypass the play of these 2 players. Sears, a 6'1" listed point guard and Jalen Brunson type, who averaged 21.5 points per game, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, and shot an astonishing 43% from 3. The second year, he shot at least 40% from 3 in his career. He also led his team to its first Final Four appearance in 2024, shooting efficiently from the field and free throw line for his career. For Mark, the knock on his game will always be size, as he's likely smaller than listed, although he makes up for it on defense, but without the coveted name leaving college nor high school hype as the 2 mentioned earlier. He'll need to prove he can lead his team deep in the tournament again while shooting the 3 well and improving his assists. Still, I believe he's deserving of a draft spot in this year's draft. Sadly, we'll have to wait another year, seeing as he too withdrew his name and is returning to school for a 5th year. He'll be 23 before next year's draft. Dillon Jones is the only shooting guard forward on this list who I believe can play the point in the NBA, as he averaged more assists than all the guys mentioned today and is staying in the draft. He's a big guard, has great feel for the game, big time scorer, but not a good shooter, although not as poor as Bronny. Where he impresses is he averaged a double-double in back-to-back seasons as a sophomore and junior for Weber State, making him an all-around prospect not getting enough notoriety. All in all, to me, these players can make more of an impact right now on the NBA level than Bronny James, although with James you instantly bring in fanfare, and LeBron James has made it known he wants to make history playing with his son, so your team might bring him in as well, making Bronny James that important of a draft pick. He averaged under 5 points a game at USC, had a scary cardiac arrest that delayed his debut, and shot 26% from 3. I don't even think he's a bad player, but obviously needed time to develop, and if he was anyone else, he wouldn't even be considered a draft prospect. But he is, and congratulations to him and Nepotism for winning once again. He didn't choose this life, nor should he be ashamed he's in this position. Seems like a humble and hardworking young man, so much love to him and all these guys. Hopefully they all get a fair shot at achieving their dreams. Salute, much respect. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.